What a beautiful day, said no one. So that's them fed. Any water in them? Welcome back to another episode of Invercamey Weekly. What a beautiful day, said no one. It is just after 12 o'clock. Still got to feed all the cattle. Just everything's slowed down today. Yesterday it was an absolute nightmare. What happened yesterday? So yesterday was a processing day. Obviously one of my drivers was off ill. Ran the generator dry of diesel. No water in the processing shed whatsoever. So I was having to pail it in from somewhere else. Me and Marion ended up having to cover Invercamey along with my brother John. Massive thank you. Also massive thank you to Lindsay Forbes that helped my sister on Sunday/Monday night. It's just been a hell of a few days. So I'm actually away to feed the cattle just now. Got the milking finished. I was late this morning because I was late out last night. I was late starting the milking. And then obviously we no water and stuff like that this morning. I had to go to that. There's some cattle still without water just now, so I'm actually gonna have to go to that in the afternoon. So this might just be a farming in the winter video instead of a weekly, I suppose. But we'll see how we get on. But the first and foremost, got to hope that the bloody tractor starts. So we'll go and jump in that just now, and fingers crossed it does. So 50E, this is a tractor that we do almost everything with. Right, pray. Woo. Right, let's see if we can get the cattle fed. Now, scoop is on. Take a bag out of there. Right, as it starts to snow again. So, a couple of issues on days like today. One, it's snowing. Horrendous to work in, really cold. And two, Invercamey is quite a lot of hills. I say hills, but obviously steeper inclines. Now, the 50E isn't four-wheel drive either. So I'll show you here just now. Obviously this has got a little bit of a hill here, so I've got to try and get up this. Now it's really fresh falling snow this morning. I'm not sure if that'll be better or worse to get up the hill. I have got sand, a little bit of sand if need be. The other problem is the draft is really heavy, so I'm going to try and take as little as I possibly can in the scoop, that I've got enough if I get in the shed. Obviously bottles have returned. Grateful for everyone that returned their bottles because everyone was out earlier. We tried to get it on the doorstep as early as we could so people could take it in before it, because obviously it was -10. So we tried to get it in as early as we possibly could before it frosted, so folk could take it in before they went to bed. I know that wasn't possible in some places because I actually had to help one of the drivers get out of the yard yesterday. Well, not the yard, but there's a big brae to get out of. So I'll show you, for example, this is what happens to the milk if it's left out in cold conditions. You can see the lid's popped. I know that would have happened to a few folks. Apologies if that happened to you guys. We did our best to get it on the doorstep as early as we could, but I know for me, example, I think we did the last doorsteps about midnight because there's a big brae to get out the hill. You'd have seen in previous videos me going up the hill. I actually had to help one of the drivers who did the Ellen run to get out of there. Took 2 attempts. He got stuck twice, had to put sand down and get away twice. So it's just delayed things further for me getting away. So I think the last doors we dropped, that was about midnight in Invercamey. So if your milk was popped in the morning, I do apologise, but you can technically just defrost it and it'll be fine. If you've got moo pops, that'll seal it nicely. But it's not ideal, so I do apologise if that is the case. But horrible day. I'm actually worried about tomorrow now, because tomorrow's another production day and then we're out again in the evening. So let's see if we can actually get up this hill without any sand. As I say, I'm not sure. Sometimes like the fresh fallen snow can be a hat, it can be better, as opposed to like it being tramped and icy. But as a draft there, you can't really see it now because it's covered in snow. But I'll try. It's really heavy stuff, so I'm going to try and take as little as I said, as little round as I possibly can to give me even more of a chance to get up the brae. Let's see how we got on. Roughly a half scoop of draft. I think that's probably enough. I'm not looking forward to trying this because I don't think we'll get up, but we can give it a bash. Right, let's go. Wish me luck. Diff lock engaged. Yeah, that's what I thought it would do. Absolutely zero chance I'm going to get up this unassisted. Only thing I can possibly do is get Dad to shove me up the hill, potentially, or put sand down. What a morning. Right, I'll need to give Dad a shout, see if he can give me a shove up the hill with what we call a big tractor. Well, we made it far up the hill, didn't we? Let's see if we can go and find Dad. Hate this weather. Anybody that likes the snow obviously doesn't work in it. Horrible. Right, Dad's going to give me a hand. Just going to go and position the tractors. See if we can actually get up the hill. Almost frozen the door. Can hardly get in. Right. Touch wood, shouldn't be any problem starting this tractor. Thought she was going to start there. Right. Whoa, jumpy. Right, four-wheel driving, I dare say, would help. Not convinced this is going to work either, to be honest with you. Might have to try and get another door, which might be better, but... Right, the plan is weight box to weight box. Extra few, 120 horse or whatever it is. Can it get us up this hill? Unlikely, but we're going to give it a bash. Let's see. Go on, Betsy! Bollocks. Success. That was easier than I thought. Needs must. Smashing at the back of the tractor with the tractor to get it up the hill. Right, let's go and get it fed. Draft in. Normally I carry the two bags round with the loader, but I'm not going to bother that. I'm just going to carry them up to the door myself. I'm not risking getting stuck again at the bottom of the hill. So that's a little bit easier than I was expecting. Wasn't quite expecting it to push it up as easy as it did, so that's good. Not a massive amount left. Wasn't carrying extra, massive amount of extra weight round there then, got it relatively right, as close as I could have done. I hate running dry and having to go round again, so always more than I actually need. Doors frozen, delightful. So still top dressing the giraffe with a couple of bags of barley, one down each side, so I just need to carry 2 of these up to there. I'm not going to bother videoing it, but I showed you obviously previously in another video, I think we're feeding the cows anyway, so I'm not going to concentrate too much on that, 'cause I need to get the other cattle fed. You can see them, they're making a bit of noise, so I need to get them fed before I go in for lunch. So cows fed. Objective 1 complete. So I'm going to leave them to eat. Now I've got to go and get the calves fed in the court. So again, giraffe and barley. Right, let's go and get them. Another thing actually I forgot to say, Dad and Andrew spent half the afternoon yesterday defrosting the separator. I spoke about it in a previous video, but basically the separator, this time of year we're not allowed to spread slurry on the fields, so we need to have storage. So what the separator does is it takes a liquid, it crushes it, squeezes all the water out of it, and then it puts out thick muck into the midden there, and then the liquid is all gravity fed down to the storage tank down here. So that's a storage tank there. So that's where I basically hold all our slurry during the winter times we're not allowed to spread. So I've spoken about this before, but I just thought I'd mention it anyway. So the plan now is to basically feed all the young stock in the court, and then, well, unfortunately, they've not got water. So with Dad and Andrew having spent so much time at that separator yesterday because the slats were full, they had to get it running. So they haven't been bedded in here either, I don't think, so hopefully we'll get the water running, them fed and bedded today. So as you can see, they're hungry. And obviously the 2 water troughs frozen, so that's a delight. So as I said, they're needing bed, so the priority is just to basically get them fed, watered and bedded today before I start the milking. Now, I'm not even sure where to start with defrosting the water, if I'm honest with you. It's going to be an absolute bloody nightmare. I don't know where to start because there's a lot of pipes. Let's try to trace where it actually is frozen to. It might be frozen the whole lot, so it's a matter of just basically getting hot water in a cloth and just running it down the pipe and trying to defrost it. It's just horrible, horrible job, but can't have them without water too long, so it needs to be running by today. So that's kind of the priority after I get them fed, get myself fed at lunchtime, and then go from there. So unfortunately, old-fashioned Invercamey. So the draft's put in the bucket and then I shovel it into the barra, and I actually feed them with the barra in this court because it's just such an awkward shed. All our sheds are pretty awkward, to be honest with you. Built a long time ago and they're just not modern day friendly really. So I'm waiting to get the barra put in the court, get some draft in the barra, get draft in the barra, get draft in the scoop, and then we'll get them all fed to draft first, and they'll come back in with barley and we'll get them fed barley as well. So it would actually be quite nice to get home for the World Cup at 7 o'clock as well. I have actually been invited on 2 Blokes and a Mic podcast again, but we'll see how I get on here. But I think, if I'm honest, I think I've got enough to do here without being on that, unfortunately. It'd have been good banter tonight as well, because some people have got some conflicting views with me, should I say, as usual. So it'd have been good banter tonight, but I think I'll see how we got on. I might make it, but it looks as if it's going to need all my time defrosting this water, I would imagine. Well, I might manage to get it done quicker than I expect, but I'm not holding my breath. So as I said, I'll just show you the setup, because I'm probably just going to do like a time lapse to show the feeding, because I need to get on, as I said before. The barrel's sitting in the pass there. I'll sit the scoop here, and then I'll just shovel it in from here. So, and then run it down and tip it in at the trough, basically. So that's the premise, basically. It'll probably take me about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to feed them all. and then I'll go for my lunch, and then we'll face the dreaded water after that. So that's them fed. So obviously when the draft goes down the middle of this trough, but obviously I shovel, well, majority of it goes over to this side because this cattle at this side is slightly older than that side. There should be enough spaces for every beast to get in, just a lot for each one. But obviously they fight over the barley. It's like sweeties, I guess, so they're not too interested. The draft's more like a bulk filler, really, more than anything, but it's a barley they really like. Now this cattle here, they're on Alot barley, so as much barley as they can eat. And then these ones here are even bigger, so they're the same. They get the same diet as that ones, but they get a little bit more. So that is basically them fed. Now I've only got one more lot to feed, and that is a bunker, so it's just a matter of putting barley in the scoop. It's just whether I can get it up and in this bunker, because it's up a hill. So we'll see how we got on here, and then I'll get from my lunch. Just going to go and check, see how much I've actually got, because I'm not even sure I've got enough in there. Yeah, we'll go with that today, I think. Sure. That was almost a fall. Look how nice that looks out there. As horrible as it is, looks amazing. If I had time, I might get a drone up for a wee fly across there just to see what it looks like, but looks amazing when everything's covered in white. Just looking at St John's Wells there. Right, that is lunchtime. We made it. And what time is it? It is 1:45. You're seeing that the cattle that I was feeding the court there were quite hungry, especially the big ones. They get fed last because they only get barley, but struggling to feed them at one stage because they were trying to get their heads in the barra. It's not normally quite as bad as that, but when you're 3 or 4 hours late feeding them, well, obviously they're hungry. Understandable. Right, I'm hungry. That's me back out from lunch. Dad's just away to attempt to put some silage in. So obviously, nice wee hill here for him to go up as well. So let's just watch on and see if he needs a shove in or not. Surprised if the wheels don't spin. Well, maybe Dad's going to get on fine. Spot on. Right, that's maybe one less job to worry about. Right, I'm going to get some hot water and we're going to go and try and defrost this water in the court because that cattle haven't had water for a while, so I'm dreading this because I have no idea how long it's going to take. Also, don't have water in the processing shed still, so I'm going to have to defrost that before tomorrow morning, which is another nightmare. It's getting on time wise as well because I've still got the beast to bed. Right, I'm going to get some hot water and we'll see how we get on with defrosting this. I'm hoping that I can disconnect it at a pipe and get it going there, then at least I know it's going to there. But because I'm hoping all the pipe work that's kind of under the trough and that, the heat of the beast and that, I'm hoping maybe it's okay. It's just the bit that's kind of sticking out maybe more for the elements. I'm hoping maybe if I defrost that, I'll get it going quite quickly, but on the other hand, I could be spending 3 hours trying to get it defrosted. Right, had to go to the house. The big boiler in the dairy's timed. It's not roasting hot till about 5-6 o'clock, so it's only about 3:30 just now. So I've got a cloth and I've got really warm water. As I said, it's just a matter of just working the cloth up and down the pipe, try and get it going at one joint, and then work your way along. But a lot of the pipe is underneath the trough, and as I said, I'm hoping it's okay, because if it's an issue, we've got big problems. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But as I said, if we can get it going at certain points, it'll be a massive help, because at least then I know it's going from there. A lot of the pipe obviously is underground anyway, but it's just a matter of, there is a few bits that it's sticking out at certain areas, which isn't ideal, but that's just the setup of the shed. We do get caught with this time to time, but hopefully it's easier than I thought to get it thawed. Hopefully. Keep your fingers crossed. Right, so that is the pipe in question. So it's pretty dark in here, if I'm honest. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to film with this. So you can see these two troughs don't have any water in them. So obviously this area here, obviously still plenty of feed in the troughs. The guys are just looking for a drink now. That's me just finished the milking. It's 7:30. I was unsuccessful with trying to get the water running, unfortunately, so I'm waiting to try and fill a scoop at the dairy and take it round and pail it into the younger stock, see if they can get a drink tonight. Oh, it's so annoying, this weather. I honestly can't be doing with it. It's so demoralising. But they'll get a drink tonight, and then hopefully this frost clears, because it's -11. It was last night in the van. I'm not sure what it is tonight. I think it's only -5 or 6, but I just can't clear any water. Like the dairy's fine because it's all insulated. Processing plant's a little bit of an issue as well, but there's ways around it. But the water for the cattle is just such an issue, like, so obviously there's ways around it by manually giving them water. As I said, I'm just the way to do, but it's not ideal. So fingers crossed this frost disappears as quickly as possible. Anyway, remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I know I'm a little bit late to the party now because I've missed a week's video, but I'm still chasing that 500 subscribers for Christmas. Thanks for watching. See you next week.